Hi there! I've actually wanted to do this video for a pretty long time. Oh, my hair. I wanted to do this video for a really long time, but I didn't know when was the right time. But I think this is a pretty good time to do it since I think a lot of high schoolers are deciding on what college they should go to, and I wanted to talk about my experiences with university. I'm sorry, I'm fanning myself because it's really, really hot today. It's usually not that hot in Berkeley. That's right. For those of you who don't know, I'm about to graduate from UC Berkeley with the degree in electrical engineering and computer science. Electrical engineering and computer science. Still can't say it right. The first thing that I want to say to people that doesn't get said enough is that it doesn't... I don't want to say it doesn't matter what college you go to, but at the same time, college is a lot like clothes. You can either let it wear you or you can wear the clothes. It's up to you to get what you want out of your education. Not it, like, I think, especially from the school that I'm from, it was a very, I think the mentality that a lot of students adopted was that, you know, that's instilled by just the school and parents and teachers, is that this, like, is, you know, your whole life depends on what college you get into. Your life will suck if you don't get into a good college. You know, there's so much shame in going to UC Riverside or UC Davis. There's so much shame in going to a community college, and you know, once you get into a good college, you're good. Like, you won't have to worry about anything else in life ever again, and that is so not true. Like, a lot of college students, they like saying, oh, you know, college is a lot easier than high school, but I think it's difficult in a different way for those of you who don't know. College is a place for personal growth as well as academic growth, where as opposed to high school, which for me was just very, very academic based, and I didn't really have to worry that much about anything else. You know, I didn't have to worry about cooking for myself. I didn't have to worry about doing laundry for myself. I didn't have to worry about getting up by myself. I didn't have to worry about, like, getting anywhere that I needed to go because all my parents, you know, they wanted to support, you know, my education, so they wanted to make it easy for me in other areas of my life. That obviously might not be the case for you, but, you know, it is a very different mentality in college. If you have the choice, I would recommend going to a college somewhat far away from home, not just because you hate your parents or anything, because I don't assume that you do hate your parents. I think most high schoolers are at a stage of their life where they kind of get annoyed by their parents in some way or another. Because I think, you know, don't separate yourself from your parents for the sake of... Well, actually, I think you should separate your parents for the sake of separating yourself, because having to live by yourself, even though you might be still living off of your parents' money, it builds a lot of character. You know, I've changed a lot, you know, having to be, like, at least somewhat self-dependent and getting my own groceries, you know, taking out my own trash, having to, you know, wake up, having to set my own hours for work and school and fun. You know, it's a very, very interesting process that I think is very important for people that are past high school to adopt. I think John Green, he puts in very good terms in that, like, college is a very important place to build character. So I really hope that you don't think that despite what your parents say, it's not just a place to get a job. It's not just a place where you can build experience to get a job, even though hopefully that is what you're doing. But I mean, the whole idea of picking a major after high school, I think after, like, and from my perspective at least, is extremely, extremely twisted, because in high school you can only take so many classes, and most of the classes that you're taking are, like, the core classes that you're supposed to take in order to take, you know, more specific classes in college. You know, you take history, math, chemistry, physics, all that AP crap. But how can you decide on what major you want like even after like trying out classes in even after trying out classes in college, how can you decide whether or not you want to do like anthropology or not, or sociology or not, or a specific type of engineering or not? Like, it is impossible to like figure out whether or not you're making the right decision unless you're one of those lucky ass people that know that like knew for like the day they were popped out of their mother that they knew what they wanted to do. I'm definitely not one of those people. I'm not ashamed to admit that I decided to go to Berkeley and I picked my major out of pure practicality. And even though I don't plan on continuing with programming, I can't regret my decision because I didn't know any better. I didn't know any better, and I'm still very thankful that I have a somewhat technical background, so you know, it makes me look smart and also at least somewhat marketable, and that way I can, you know, get at least part-time work while I do acting stuff. Yeah, college is a very good place to experiment, not just sexually. In terms of your interests, because you never know, like if you live far enough from your parents, you can do anything that you've wanted to do, that you never had time to do, or that your parents could never like take you to or fund you for. Because like, if you go to the right college, there's clubs for everything. Like, I've always wanted to do like hip hop, but I was always too intimidated to do hip hop while I was in high school or middle school, and so I tried out for dance teams, and I didn't have the balls to do theater in high school or middle school, and so I did theater rice in high school, and it ended up convincing me that acting was the right path for me to take. Great. I think that the main idea is to just be open to possibilities. Be open to the possibilities that you may not like your major in a year or 2 years, that you might want to switch really quickly, or that you might, you know, find your calling at a club as opposed to your major. There is nothing wrong with that. And even though I think a lot of people will say that you're wasting your money if you're not, you know, following through with your major, I do not think that is true. Like, the amount of the growing that I've done and the friends that I've made here, it's like, I would like, if tomorrow my parents told me that I would have to pay them back for all the money that they spent on me for college, I would happily pay it back, because I feel like it was worth it, even though I'm not continuing with my major. That being said, though, if you haven't a better idea of what you want to do further down the line, unlike me, you know, before it's too late to change your major, go for it. Like, even though it's going to be a lot more hard work, I think it's worth it. And just because you can say that you studied it in college, but you know, if you don't worry about it either, because your major should not decide your life. It shouldn't. You like, things like your major and what school you go to will trap you only if you allow it to trap you. So on the topic of college not being just a place to get a job, it's also a place, you know, to build your network. But I want to qualify myself by saying that I hate the word networking or the term building your network, because that sounds like such a fucking cold thing to do. Like, pretending to be like being nice to people and talking to people just because you think that they will be useful to you down the line. I think that's absolutely disgusting, and I think that's what a lot of people do in a lot of the more what's considered the more lucrative majors. Just because the more lucrative major is the one that you usually benefit the most from, you know, job fairs and stuff like that. I hate job fairs because you're basically just opening your legs and asking people to pay attention to you and maybe hire you. But I think the best way to network is to just be yourself. And I know that sounds like such a fucking cheesy thing to say, but hear me out. When I say be yourself, I mean following what your interests and following your heart in in either your major, in either and your major or your club activities. When you follow your heart and when you when you're doing something or pursuing something that you really, really love, it is gonna be so fucking easy to find people that just resonate with you. People that automatically get you, that, you know, you never have, that, like, there's never gonna be, like, that weird awkward period where you're kind of friends but kind of not friends. Like, there will be you'll automatically meet people that you will just click with, and that's the best feeling. Like, it's those moments that I think us as a, you know, as social type of creatures, we live for, you know, like, having that instant connection with people and knowing that, like, that you're in the right place. That's what I felt when I was in Theater Rice. It was wonderful. I met so many people that just allowed me to rediscover parts of myself that I thought were unnecessary, like my love of Sailor Moon, my love of SpongeBob. Like, no, I've never met anybody before Theater Rice, people that quoted SpongeBob with me, because everybody, all of my friends before that were kind of like above the whole, like, reenacting scenes from your favorite TV shows and stuff. No, not in Theater Rice. I've made so many lifelong friends, and I've learned so much about myself in a good way from being part of that. And so I think even if it's not your major, do something that you've always wanted to do. It will pay off so well, even if it doesn't have to do with your major. Even if it, like, hurts your GPA. I think it's worth it, because, like I said, as long as you're not, like, failing, it's okay to not do that well in college. It's okay to not do that well in terms of GPA. Like, personal growth is really, really important. Just, you know, make sure that you keep up with your work, but at the same time, don't bury yourself in work and think that, and don't treat college like high school, in which, at least for me, like, high school was just all studying. It was all studying. Like, I rarely went out with friends unless it was, like, the end of the semester so we could, like, celebrate finals and stuff like that, but college is a place to do so much more. It's another step into the real world, and the real world does not consist of just studying. Just follow your passion. I know that gets said so many fucking times, but I think a lot of people in college, they generally don't follow their passion. Most people are just doing the lucrative thing, and I think that is, and I don't like that. I mean, if your passion is to make money, then fine. That's totally cool. I can't fault you for that, but I hate because this is what I was like for 20 years of 20 years, which is basically like 95% of my life. People spend so much energy convincing themselves that what they're doing is right for them, when it's not. Like, people complain so much about their business classes. I hear people complain so much about their engineering classes and think that it will all be fine when they get paid for their work, or when they, make it into Google or Facebook, one of those big, a big company that will pay them a lot and will feed them food for free. Food and money will not make you feel better, at least for me. Maybe that's just because I'm a very emotional person, but I generally believe, Stop convincing yourself that because you're unhappy now, you'll be happier later. Don't do that. Do what makes you happy now, because that will inevitably open so many doors for you. Hopefully it's something more productive than playing video games, like, alone in your apartment like I do sometimes, but I mean, go out and do things that make you happy, because they will open up doors for you. They will make you friends, like I said before. They will, they will teach you more about yourself, and it will give you a better idea about what you want out of life. Because anybody that thinks that... Okay, I mean, I think a lot of people think that they know what... I think a lot of people think I think a lot of people think that they know what they want out of life when it's actually not true. Because that was me. Let me tell you, because I had a summer internship at a really, really great startup. I got paid well, and I got free food. And I was still not happy. I was still not happy. So I can tell you from firsthand experience that I don't think money and food is going to make you happier. Because what is the point of good food and money if the work is not, if you don't like your work? Like, so many people think that the money and food will make up for everything. No, I don't think it will, especially not for me. The food is, like, the money that you're getting is for 8 hours a day of work. Like, at the end of the day, after you cash in that big fat paycheck and after you gobble up that delicious gourmet free food, you still have to go back to your work. You still have to go back to your work, and you still have to do something that you could possibly hate. And that will destroy your soul. And I know that was kind of like a joking kind of term, but I'm pretty sure it probably will destroy your soul. Like, there is a mentality that I have received as an Asian student that you should suffer now so you can enjoy yourself later. But I don't like that term because the suffering never ends. Life is suffering. That's a Buddhist saying. Like, life is suffering. Like, you will have to work for a good amount of time, like 20 or 30 years. I really hope that people don't, like, stifle their passions and convince themselves that it's a hobby just because it's less marketable. Because if you're working 40 hours a day, you will not have the energy or the time to fully, like, commit yourself to something that is your passion, that you might have convinced yourself that is your hobby. Like, you will not have the energy to do it. Like, that's what, like, when I had my internship, I wanted to start this YouTube channel, but I didn't have the time or energy to. I was tired. I wanted to go home, be mindless. I wanted to, watch reality TV shows. I wanted to play video games. I wanted to, watch a bunch of YouTube stuff. All of this stuff was basically not that productive. Because I didn't have the energy to, because I was tired from working 8 hours. Have more faith in yourself. Because I think that's what stems from it. Like, if you genuinely are passionate about something, it makes your life so much easier when you're pursuing something. It makes your life so much easier because it's what you want to do. You'll automatically take time, like, out of your day to pursue what you want. And it doesn't feel like work because it's what you want. You'll surround yourself with people that also, you'll make friends with people that also enjoy what you're doing, and you'll get connections. I hate that word. And be able to, bounce ideas off of your friends, and most of all, you will be happy. Like you won't just be like the kind of happy where it's like the pay's good. My pay's good. I have a little bit of free time. I have a good amount of free time. I'm happy. No, it's like, I love what I'm doing. Like, I really wish that I could grant everybody in this world, like, that kind of happiness, because I think not enough people know that kind of happiness. I'm not saying I do yet, because I'm still, trying to become an actor. I mean, I'm sorry, I am an actor, it's just I'm trying to find work. Wiggle my way into the paid world. But, yeah. Sorry, this discussion of college just turned into a happiness thing. But college is a really important time to discover what makes you happy, so I don't think it's too far off. But, if you have any questions about, majors, or, if you have any more questions about maybe, I don't know, my electrical engineering major or theater ice, because I don't want to propose that I know everything about every club or every major, so just, theater ice or EECS, you can go ahead and ask me in the comments below. I will be happy to answer. If you, please add in your 2 cents about college as well. Okay, bye.